Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Barcast TV and to another episode of Barcast Daily. It is August 19th, 2023, and once again we are joined by LSR. Welcome back.
Hey, Barcast.
LSR, thank you for joining us again. Today we are going to be analyzing my game versus none other than Zecharis on Paradise Lost. This was taken from the Spring TV tournament he's running, and yeah, this was an interesting one to review, so hopefully this is, insightful.
Alright, I'll be watching. I still don't know which game it is and how long it will last, so I'm completely not spoiled or anything, so let's see.
Awesome. Have you had a chance to look at the bracket for that tournament, or see any matchups that are interesting?
No, not yet. I think I looked at the bracket, but I don't think I've understood that. It was maybe the predictions bracket.
Yeah.
That I haven't been updated.
It
So.
got a little messy there.
I had to look at that. There was brackets with profile pictures, but I don't know who's going where or necessarily. So yeah.
Maybe we'll do an episode covering that later on for the channel, just to cover what's been going on. I think watch out for Spring TV. He should be casting some of the replays or live matches that are going on today or tomorrow. So
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's enough of that. Let's get back into this, I suppose. So this is Paradise Lost. Obviously, it's a sea map, so you end up going. You can open Shipyard first from both positions. I ended up spawning top right, which is a little unfortunate. I think this map's a little imbalanced between left and right side, so left side spawn is a little tighter with the 4 mexes. Not the biggest deal though, but
yeah, it looks about the same. It's hard to tell whether his 5th mex in the sea is pretty far away.
I already see a difference in our opens here. He ended up going Shipyard off of, was it 2 mexes, or he didn't? It was 2 or 3. Sorry, I didn't quite notice, but that's a lot faster than I was playing. A lot greedier than that. I went 4 mex open before Shipyard. So as you can see, his 2 supporters are already halfway across the map. Perhaps he knew I would open like this. I'm not sure. I think I did a pretty decent job of locking my games for some of these. Does that actually take the replay off the server? Like you won't get that won't show up if you lock your games, custom games, or?
I would assume. Well, there is some settings that you could make the games private, right? The issue was before that some private games would get uploaded and some people didn't like sometimes, right? So
right.
There is some presets, right? I think if you take a lobby and just lock it, I think the replays are still there. But maybe if you do the private game, there isn't.
Interesting. So I ended up losing one of my construction ships there to that supporter, so that was a nice little catch by him.
Yeah, pretty early.
I think, did that mex finish? No, so I didn't quite get that second mex off, and that definitely slows down the build. I have just a build order I stole from Ragnar on this map, so gonna have to remake that and get that mex chain back up. That constructing ship actually goes to that canal on the top side and ends up placing some, was it torpedo launchers?
You were able to defend those. At which timestamp you are right now?
404, 405.
Oh, yeah. 1x speed, right?
Yep.
Alright, perfect, yeah.
So that was a tight catch. That would have been really bad if I ended up losing that second construction ship. So I think
it doesn't look like bad. I think subs. Yeah, I think you're doing a lot of things right to hit
the general feel of it, I suppose. I had a chance to play a lot of practice games versus Dirksey on this map the other day, after my match rather, and I got a chance to see the core sub versus arm sub interaction, and he was getting the better end of a lot of those trades as the arm player.
Oh yeah, core is pretty good. Let's see. And Dolphins also is recently like nerfed a little bit due to them being oppressive in the team games mostly. And you know, generally people don't yeah, play that much 1v1s to feel the impact. So
Right. They definitely are strong. I think that's something I picked up from Randy. He was saying, yeah, just spam the
oh
dolphins
yeah,
because they're really good.
yeah, they're really good. It's like a sea pawn, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's what it feels like. They shoot really fast. It's like two blitz turrets or something like that. I don't know. But as we can see, I kind of picked off one of his construction turrets. Sorry, construction ships. So I feel like I evened up the match there. I don't feel too far behind at this moment.
Looks pretty good on income. He's catching you in a little bit now with the supporters there.
He ends up getting this construction ship, but
Yeah, he should.
yeah. Still not the biggest, like the biggest deal. I capped those 3 mexes, so that's
Yeah, your objective basically they're done, and you already
right.
had a second ship running out, so that was pretty cute and lucky.
Yeah. Yeah. Pick up these.
The
So
early subs are doing like godly work. That's what I love about like these Ragnar builds. Like they include these quick and early subs. As soon as you're making these subs, I thought, yeah, that's gonna be pretty good.
I wonder how. Oh, so he already has a destroyer out. Is that what it? Oh no, that's a Riptide, a frigate. He
I
has
love your job at the north as well, locking it down now. Given that you like might lose all your army without real benefit, right?
Right at the north side. That was I was thinking. I'm like I can distract him and pull him down south, and it doesn't matter if I don't get the best trades because I have this position up here on the top. I felt pretty good about locking down one of the channels. Unfortunately, he ends up slipping one sub through that. I think this gets a lot of damage. It took me a while to deal with that sub, which is really frustrating in these sea maps because it's like so hard to get sonar coverage everywhere. I think the radar, the on the water radar has a sonar range and an actual like above the water range. Where does that say that?
Yeah. There's a blue circle.
Yeah. So that's the green circle is the radar when you construct it, and the sonar has 900 range. So there it is. Okay. So I'm just trying to show that on screen. So the sonar range isn't very large, and maybe I should just get better at placing them to figure out where these subs are coming at. Or it's kind of hard to keep track of everything when you're like trying to build, and like harass and keep track of like where this sub is at in my on my side of the water, side of the bay.
Oh yeah. Income looks pretty even, but yeah, with that position, you're in a pretty good position, and the raids have been amazing.
So something I've been really cognizant of in my recent games this past week was the energy wasted or excess energy tab.
Did you feel any better about it, or
I think I've
more
been
mindful about building?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So I've been more mindful about keeping track of it, the wind speed, throwing in energy converters if it gets a little too high, but definitely not overbuilding the wind, or like clicking on having my first construction turret just assist the factory while my one of the construction bots just adds on constant power. So stuff like changes here and there, trying to feel it out, but I definitely think the percentage has been going down. Obviously not perfect, but
Yeah, I mean, you don't need perfect, right? And sometimes you need even more, right? You often see Randy getting solar collectors on like even good wind maps without just because he like kind of pre-scales the energy to build it and he loads a lot. So
yeah, pre-scaling energy isn't. Yeah, it's not the worst thing. There's 3 components, right? You need to build power, E, and metal. So you can tidy up one of them without much effort. It's definitely gonna benefit you. He got that construction ship there. That's unfortunate. And okay, and I'm having all these memories kind of come back to me from this game. There was one huge moment later on I'll try pointing out that I really think lost the game. Maybe you can tell me your opinion or perspective here.
yeah,
Get to it.
I'm looking at your raids right now, and it looks like that one sub has you on like full patrol, and then there's attacks coming right now at the north.
Right.
The north looks like super secure.
Right. I ended up losing these these corvettes, these dolphins down in the bottom, those sat there for a long
Yeah.
time on microed actually.
Yeah, maybe you could run back if you suspected it. I bet you could have killed the torpedo launcher, but yeah, you didn't know. Yeah, going to his base, I don't know, this late, it feels like he would like kind of be able to react, but losing them AFK.
Yeah.
I mean, at least the metal is kind of far from his base. It's not like you fed into his base.
Hmm. And what is this at? So I'm like up 1k metal produced. That's not the biggest difference. For C units, what is that? Like these corvettes are at 200 metal, right? Dolphins are 175. The arm sub is 440 metal, so like 2 subs.
His commander's pretty AFK. I was expecting like generally to.
He was really quick securing that second island.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that was his strategy, moving with the commander to build them. I guess it makes sense as well.
Already has 2 construction turrets up.
You really don't have a control on those. Although it's like, what, 4 mixes? It isn't that bad as well.
I think I have a better map control position at this point. I know he has like the 1 sub on my side, but I've got the bay. I have 4 torpedo launchers, 3 torpedo launchers, and 4 or 5 mexes in the bay, so the central bay. So that's a huge difference.
Ooh, the sub doing damage on the titles, that's scary.
Yeah, he got that resbot. Finally, I cleared out both his subs on my side of the base, so I'm like,
Yeah.
alright, I can actually harass and do some moves here. And just as that happens, he moves 4 riptides through the bottom channel onto my side.
Alright. Yeah, him getting all this metal. He's not being diligent with the metal eating there where your 4 dolphins was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 505 still
But
sitting right there.
riptide numbers are getting pretty insane. You also have like a lot of subs. But you've been diligent about like at least mechs rebuilding, so still in it.
Right. This trade was pretty good. These riptides took a lot of damage to these subs.
Your Roy just oh no, it isn't Roy. Doing it as well. Hey, you're not using factory guard, right?
No.
Oh no.
No, like I think I just right click on the factory with the
construction ship is just like chilling there.
AFK, yeah.
Yeah. I also think you can build that island mix now with
Yeah, I missed that the whole game. I just saw I noticed that right at the end. There's like right underneath that mountain range there's that 1.8 max.
yeah.
I didn't see that
At
for a
least
long
you're
time.
gonna going in to get the island mixes. So far it looks pretty, I wouldn't say super scrappy. It's really nice that you have this, like, I think what we talked about, like how to get more APM is just like defense on the north, and you don't care about the north that much, and you
Yeah.
just go all south.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have 4 torpedoes there where you're gonna fight at the south, and it's way more easier, right?
Absolutely, yeah, especially like preventing subs from slipping through as well. So, and I can just kind of have an AFK defense on one of the three theaters or 3 channels.
Yeah.
Felt super useful this game. I had a little bit of a blunder here. I didn't realize how much static he had on this outside of my north channel, so ended up throwing away these 2 frigates for a torpedo launcher and a radar. Instantly starts reclaiming that. Take a look at the statistics. Relatively even. I mean, we have approximately the same E. A little bit up on metal. Still.
Yeah, he's accessing way more. Yeah, you have some converters. You could use even more now with that. Slap one down with the commander.
Feels good, right? Just chewing through that metal. So I hear the first destroyer shot come off. So I pull back my navy. I'm like, all right, I can't take a decent trade here. So I'm gonna try and stall him from advancing through this north channel as long as I can, and try and get some seaplanes out. So that's what I.
Seaplanes look
Yep.
really good.
And I
Do you
think
actually reclaim your shipyard?
no, I have both. So
Oh, you're kind of rich enough somehow.
yeah, I have a lot of
From all
metals.
the
So
reclaims.
yeah, I have a decent amount of metal. I think I stalled just a hair, but I'm able to continue producing once that finishes. Constructing. See, my mass is pretty decent.
His north grouping is like, it's a really hard point, but he's in, actually, like, he just controls the bay. But he doesn't actually control, you can still, like, kind of move.
I have a decent sized navy, so I didn't feel terribly uncomfortable like letting him clear that position, and I can still just stall him. There's only three mexes between his army and my naval shipyard, so I didn't feel uncomfortable in this position really at all. I am kind of aware though that he can slip down into the bay at any time, so I think I start reinforcing that pretty quickly.
Well, nice pullback on the torpedo gunship. I thought it was gonna rally from when I was like, you should stack a little bit more. Give him maybe even more space.
Mm-hmm.
Make him feel comfortable.
Yeah. So that was something I'm like, I need to pull up these torpedo launchers before I start like reveal them, so to speak.
Alright.
So continuing to pull up these torpedo launchers here. He steps forward, so I was like, all right, you're gonna commit to an attack here. I kind of have to reveal these. So I want to say I did a fight move with my whole army here in a second. There it is. Not sure if that's the proper play.
Yeah.
And he did a great little retreat right there. So not the best time to maneuver.
Yeah, I guess you could have flown in from the middle as well, bait them as well. If they come from the back, it's the biggest surprise, right?
Right. Yeah, I probably could have waited a little bit longer for that, but not the end of the world.
Oh, of course, yeah.
He gets up a seaplane platform, so he reclaimed his naval yard to get this
I think
out.
he had it before as well.
Yeah.
He already has some gunships before made, and now he's only switching to fighters once he realized.
Okay. So I saw his fighters out. I think I started my own fighters quickly enough. Yeah, so I have some Cyclones building right now.
They have pretty like big rating value if they're able to.
Yeah, they can clear out the sonars, radars, mexes pretty quickly.
Yeah, because of course they have insane mobility. You should get your construction bots. Oh yeah, there we go. To the front. There's like a lot of metal.
Yeah, 3.4K. I had a little bit of a blunder here. I tried to attack this floating heavy laser tower here. Didn't quite realize I don't need to be...
You just need reclaim to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. I just need to camp that reclaim field. So I move forward here and lose my like entire navy trying to kill this damn heavy laser tower. Huge blunder.
Yeah, well, the Urchin probably needs to die first as well. Kidding.
6 kills, 7 kills.
Yeah.
So at this point, kind of have this conscious effort to never attack that position again. I'm like, he invested so much into static defense here. I should just always attack around this position from now on.
Well, your subs got in. That's really, really big. On the north.
Yeah, see that, taking out some X's. He has his own torpedo gunships out, or seaplane gunships.
Yeah.
Not the most effective unit. At that time, I'm just trying to get up a lot of anti-air, so...
I think you just need fighters, right? So you'd
Yeah.
actually need just more... What's your commander doing? Yeah, just make more windmills.
Yep, more energy. So we're even on...
Invest in seaplane as well, construction. I don't know if that's better to build regardless of the titles, but you have so much metal, the titles are nice.
Yeah, I didn't quite think of that during the match, but a seaplane constructor would have been really effective at capping some of these island mexes I haven't gotten, or getting to the reclaim. Can they reclaim mass in the water, or do you have to...
I think so, yeah, but I think that's the first for sure.
Yeah, so these gunships are getting a lot of value. I kind of AFK'd my navy right here for a moment. Not sure what I'm doing. I'm pulling up a decent sized navy on my side. Does he have one destroyer? Okay, he has one destroyer in that army.
Torpedo gunships deal pretty effectively with your subs, it seems like.
So he's got his...
now getting freedom at the south.
Yeah, I want to say I bring my fighters down there in a second and do a decent enough job clearing that out.
It's pretty scrappy. I'm like not sure how you got all the metal and you're like still holding so much mixes, but it looks like he's breaking you, but too little, too late so far.
Yeah, he finally
like, he has to chew through so much of your defenses, even if he's like ahead. So all you need is fighters and more units.
Fighters and more units. That's right. So, I have a decent amount of radar, anti-air torpedo launchers everywhere. So really just have to focus on controlling this bay. At this point, that was kind of where I was at. Kind of looking back on this, I wish I would have dedicated a more solid attack, pushing through that south channel and pressuring his production, because that happened way too late for me, and by that time the game was really, really scrappy. It gets way crazier.
Yeah, I'm astonished nobody goes into like a land-based something economy, especially when. I don't know if you could do T2, but I would do the bot lab.
It felt a little awkward not having a T2 land constructor, because when the time I went to make a fusion reactor, I'd never made one, like an underwater one, by that time, and I want to say I would have much preferred to have one on land.
Yeah, the land one. I think that would. I don't think a bot lab. I think I would go air lab for sure. Just to have maybe more.
I want to say I ended up making one to make more fighters. Yeah, exactly. So I didn't know how much. If like the seaplane fighter was better than the land-based one. From what I understand, it's cheaper. So I figured, okay, well I can stop production on the seaplane factory. I actually reclaimed it to get the advanced shipyard. So at that point, I made a land-based air factory.
He's getting now an army lead now, solid in the south, having to pump the units from there.
Yeah, 4 construction turrets.
Yeah, but you're making like you're trying to go T2 and you're going. It's really good.
Oh man, the torpedo gunship can actually idle underwater. That's crazy, and it defends itself from air units. Did not know that.
Yeah, I think the scout could do it as well, which is really nice. I love the
VTOL scout.
There is, I think it's for the arm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's really good.
So he's going T2 shipyard. His is like 90% done, and it looks like mine is just now like my first Paladin cruiser is almost finished. So I was a little ahead getting the T2 out. I know I'm having that Paladin come out, so I started spamming Dolphins again just to get more army units. Kind of protect the cruiser from getting flooded and surrounded. And typically when I go T2, I'll make one of the like radar jamming ships first. Radar jamming or like a radar ship, just because they build so much quicker and don't take as much mass.
That's interesting. I think, I don't know, if I could play, I would go T2, but I would, I think, reclaim the T2 shipyard and make the mexes and just spam, like, back into T1 army. I wouldn't explore the T2 options because it feels like they're pretty expensive.
Right, so you would just get the constructors out to increase the eco? and just get more build power to spam T1 ships.
Yeah, I think T2 is pretty risky generally. Let's see how that cruiser performs. I mean, cruiser is generally the best unit. Uh, I like the Zekker's choice the more. Like, it's insane to commit, I think, for that.
Made a battleship first. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's the range on this thing? I have no experience with these units at all, so.
Oh yeah, it should be like team games and stuff. I mean, it's C as well. It's pretty massive, like it's a siege unit.
He's got a nice fighter screen built up. Comes in handy. That's something I didn't quite focus on this game. I should have continued to have an air presence.
Yeah, I think you need. I mean, his core might be even better, right? He could do shurikens as well as a second lab, or. Yeah, but that's pretty decisive spot, and you get like kind of caught off when he like pushes north with such an army.
Yeah, it was a little awkward. I was sitting in the bay, so I had to like pull my army back. I couldn't rotate up north and run past all his defenses. So I'm like, okay, I'll retreat back from the bay and then come up from the right side. I had no idea these missile ships do like area of effect splash damage. I was just like,
maybe.
It's like T2 unit. I'm just make a T2 unit.
Try to play some C versus AI or something. Yeah.
So I noticed his battleship was like totally isolated here, so I like rotated my army back to try and catch this. Cruiser's
At
not.
least you have some cruisers technically if you can defend you should. Would be nice to have like some options to catch him. Yeah, now I see you moving towards the battleship. And then a flanking. Well, most of your army is dolphins, so you're gonna win anyways, right?
Oh, I'm at 26-17.
Alright, yeah, I'm
Oh my gosh, there's so much splash damage. I didn't realize that. Just like killed 3 of my own corvettes with the missile ship, which has like 10% HP, 2% HP. So I took that battle, and I have an enormous reclaim field, so I'm like, alright, I'll just get these res subs out and try and get as much of this. And for some reason I thought to counterattack here, which was ended up being a pretty big blunder. Because all I need to do is just camp that reclaim field and get all those units.
Yeah, you need to repair your ships as well.
Right. Yeah, I didn't realize how many of them are really heavily damaged, actually. So this was a big throw here. I run into these buccaneers, and he gets like super cost-effective trade here.
I would suggest working out how you can do like your health bars, so you can see all the default levels. You see like clearly that the units are damaged.
Right. Right.
Have to be able to visually identify those things. I mean, for me, it's like most of your army is like supremely red.
Oh yeah.
Supremely red, and you're just going like it's like more than half of the ships are like seriously damaged, and you're getting is like cruisers, which are the meaty fighters.
Right. Yeah, so that was a really big blunder there. I think that kind of set up what's going to happen over the next couple of minutes here. Is just quite never able to recover from that position.
And also you need cruisers, right? I think for team games, like once you go T2, you should just like non-stop spam cruisers. I think.
Make cruisers, okay.
At least that's when team games is generally would work, and then you mix everything all along, like I don't know, radar ship, anti-air ship, and.
Perfect micro with those buccaneers staying out of range of that battleship.
Your dolphins are kind of never committed to. I mean, you're raiding kind of south, but I figured if you try to go deep, I don't know where though. I would try to. I think I would still try to go for the coastline, see if I can pick any windmills off.
Right.
I think getting windmills is really big.
His shipyard is like completely undefended. I mean, he's got like so much tidal, so much build power right there. This is a really awkward point in the game because I knew I had to counterattack. Like he's kind of camping that north channel, so I'm like, I have to just counterattack around this essentially. And I'm stalling E, so I'm trying to make my first nuclear fusion reactor, naval fusion reactor, down there on the south side, South Island.
That's like really big of an investment. I think.
Right.
I would just make one of the first things out of my lab. I would make the air constructors and get help with the commander make nanos, and then would have like 2 nanos and 2 air constructors just making windmills all across. It's like they're super cheap on this map.
I
think.
see.
The wind is like really good.
19.
It's as good as a tidal, but on average, but cost like almost twice as less. Like metal.
Maybe something I could start incorporating in future games. I didn't quite realize realize the efficiency of that. I knew I needed more E because I have all these res subs out trying to get these naval units resed up.
I guess the fusion is fine if you're like full of metal and you're like 2000 metal, then yeah, go for fusion, especially next to the build power, but it's like really awkward, right? The closer, like if you have already 6 nanos in a place and you can just build fusion extremely quickly, since you have everything, fusion will be good. But it looks like you went off and build with just cons.
Not the best trade in the world. He went to the middle with his navy, so I was like, okay, I can kind of counterattack through his channel, and then he circled back and started pressuring my production again, so I think I have a little bit of a indecision here coming up. I'm not quite sure where to attack.
Well, I think attack is fine. I think you just should have put... The way I see it now is like you are full of the energy, right? Because the wind is high. It should be high most of the times. And like I think if you make cruisers non-stop and don't get fusion, you like those. Eventually, you will have more cruisers since you're still making like 30 metal more than he is, and the counterattack is still go. He has like, sure he like you might, you know, pressure you, but you also have an army of south that he needs resources to.
Man, I didn't realize how strong this navy is. Man, I have 3 battleships, a cruiser, 3 anti-airships.
Yeah, you could have like 30 cruisers on the north right now if you just defended them. He never moves to the south, and you just make cruisers non-stop. You could like out eco him.
So Buccaneers are the cruiser. I see. Okay.
Yeah.
A core equivalent.
Well, the long missile cruisers is just really
Liability.
not good. Yeah, you could use them after you make enough cruisers to like kill his ship bay in the middle, right?
Right.
There's pork or something.
Yeah, those are only good as like siege units. I didn't really realize what they were useful for when I was playing this game. Like I said, I got into the T2 phase and
yeah, and I think battleship is a much better like siege unit, especially in a 1v1 scenario where you don't have to like fire over the cliff, you know, to snipe some like land-based fusions. I don't think of missile cruiser as something that fights sea-based armies at all.
No.
It's against static land-based structures mostly. Well, it could be naval-based, but generally it's land.
And here, I think I could have ended the game right here if I just moved my battleships up to his production. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you just need to find the commander, right? So if you had built up fighter screen and you had radars, you could just kill him, right?
Exactly.
Somewhere. Like, I mean, he could have hidden in the sea or tried to degun, but I mean, those were the options. You don't know where he is.
Actually,
I don't know if you can keep the track of enemy commander in the shipping game, though.
I just lost my underwater naval reactor, so I think the one advantage I did have, having a lot of metal and some res subs out, is pretty much gone now. Because I from this point I can never get enough build power out to kind of spend my mass or recover from
Yep.
losing my production here in the center. Somehow he didn't kill my shipyard, so I'm like, all right, I'll make some construction ships and try and get some build power up here, because there's like 20,000 mass outside my base. Sorry, 7.3k. And I feel like I just made the wrong choice with positioning my navy right here, because like I go through and I kill a couple of wind turbines and these metal extractors, and I didn't
Did you
attack.
see the commander? You probably
No,
didn't,
no, I didn't notice that. Probably could have won actually too. I just double back into that bay, and the depth charges would kill the commander, and he can't get out of this bay now. So that was.
I think the biggest thing is I would set up land production. I would see like air is vital, something on air, like more windmills and air land to fight.
Yeah.
Scout, bomb, like in your situation where I would feel like, yeah, I think I have a good income over here. I think air adds so much.
Yeah, so much harassment potential, so much like versatility, like spreading your build power out. Oh my gosh, I could have won the game. His commander's right there. That's unfortunate. Oh well.
Yeah, and cruisers, just making a lot of cruisers.
Making cruisers.
That I think would also win you if you just like cruisers is all you need, and like radar, both.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, pretty close to the end of the game from here. I think he circles back with his Buccaneers, or what is this? This is a Predator fast assault sub. Oh, this is kind of painful to watch, honestly. I'm just moving my entire navy back to my side of the bay.
Yeah, you're recovering, right? You're making resers. The sub is.
Yeah, it wasn't strong because I had full metal, so I should have tried to just spend the metal, honestly, because I don't have the energy to use these res subs efficiently. Got a naval fusion reactor out.
Yeah, I think you like needed to make a couple of nanos on the land. I think that would be so good right now.
Yeah,
for
for
every
sure.
situation.
For
I think
sure.
you could have like gone into hovers. You can go into air. You could go in T2 air and try leech. You can get, I don't know, build a nuke. Also sometimes a good option. If you think you're ahead and can get a knockout faster.
That was one of the things I was thinking about. Yeah, I was like, well, if I could build a nuke from this position, because like a couple minutes ago it was split map, I felt pretty comfortable. So it's like this would be a great win condition to just put up a nuke in the back.
Like, oh yeah, contour it. How did it end up in the middle?
Yeah, so yeah, that's interesting. I'm not sure, and that was a little bit of a blunder. My res ships were resurrecting this T2 naval shipyard instead of just the cheaper ships in the bay. And yeah, I even had.
Given that you're like accessing thousands and thousands of medals, right? So yeah, I don't think raising is the option. You need. I think you could still like salvage this if you get back, because he does let you.
He's just pumping out cruisers at the moment. He got a naval fusion reactor out, and it's just pumping out cruisers efficiently. So
looks like it's a disaster, and now your battleship's going below. Like,
yeah.
Were they moving all the time, or you were like kind of attacking him again?
I'm not sure what they were doing. I think they just came all the way around through the South Channel and are finally just arriving back at that position.
I think if you just hit his production base, you did know that there was a strong base, but I don't think you had the understanding of like, okay, battleship is this strong, cruiser is this strong.
Exactly.
Like, you're just like, okay, I just need to get back with these ships, right? And that was it, right?
Yeah, and like re-macro up, because I'm like, well, I'm not dead. I can always like re-macro. That's usually what I lean towards. Is like, oh, if you're not down and out, you can always come back, like get your build power, get your eco back up, and just continue playing.
Yeah. I think the most saddest thing was I think Uni wanted to maybe resurrect Fusion first. I don't know if that was doable instead of units.
Right.
And yeah, having something on the land to make more windmills.
What was my commander at, actually? I didn't even notice. He almost killed it. It's at 4% health.
Yeah, it almost got sniped by the cruisers. Yeah, Tuxie also points that getting T2 energy up would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
About resing.
Please. I had the state of mind to go send a res sub to the bottom left, but he was already there with some naval engineers resing his resing and getting that reclaim. What the heck is this floating?
Yeah, I think you could have won this game like even without doing anything. Yeah, if I think the battleships went on to the north maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
His base.
Yeah.
He hit his build power and that's it. He cannot launch more attacks, and I don't know how you survived that as well, but yeah. Really interesting game though.
Yeah.
You said like blunders on the big map. This is the stuff that kind of happens.
Yeah. Also, I mean, this is I think the first game I've played in bar that went to T2 Navy, so definitely inexperienced in this playstop.
Oh yeah, and Zekris is like the main sea balance guy.
Yeah, exactly. So I think
he has like used to watch. I used to say that Zekris has like a notification because every time, there was only one lobby and people would say like Coom and DSDR, and every time a sea map would come, like Zekris would just immediately join lobby, like without a stoppage, like 10 seconds later. I thought he would like just have like the bar RTS battle screen open and he would just like refresh. That's a C map. Let me go check how the guys. What do I think about the balance?
interesting. I meant to. Well, I didn't quite realize Zekris was the balance guy when he picked this map. I was talking to him before our match, like a couple days before, and so I'd like to have him on the channel and kind of talk about.
Oh, the sea.
Yeah, his thoughts on balance and how he, just give him an interview. I think that'd be cool to do.
Yeah, for sure.
So
You did say you steal Ragnar's build, right? There was like one famous game at least played Ragnar versus the Cartouche.
Okay.
So
I haven't seen that one.
yeah, it's one of the like archives.
Yeah. Did you cast it on your channel perhaps, or?
I think we might have casted it as part of the Alpha Cup, yeah. I might have actually casted it. It should be in tournament, right? So
Okay.
it's already kind of pre-casted and...
Right. No, I'll have to check that out. Or if you send me the link, I can put it in the description of the video, of course, for reference. Yeah, and he from here, I mean, he knew what it took to win the game. He just needs to find my commander, which I want to see, like, it was cloaked, so
idea, yeah.
How did he find it? It's like a sonar. Do these ships have sonars on them, or?
He has the scout sonar right now.
Okay, I didn't quite say. Anyway, so yeah, that was GG. So, pretty long game.
Interesting, yeah. I think with the cruisers, you like your opener work, you secured and choked all the sides, and pretty unlucky for you to just not get into T2C. I think if you just spam cruisers, you're fine. If you go T2 mass, just get one builder, upgrade the mixes, and do double lab with T1.
Just
make
the dolphins
like
into destroyers. Okay.
Yeah, dolphins destroyers, something to poke his, and I think you also kill him because the unit count is big if you can afford it.
Yeah, there was lots of opportunities to win that game for sure, but definitely enjoyed participating. That was fun preparing for the match. Learned a lot about playing C.
Yeah, that's why I think I watch a lot of replays, and sometimes you always see these like little things that, oh my god, I could have this game and he could have won here and I could won here. always makes you feel like you're not playing bar well enough sometimes. Rarely do I find like to see my replay and say like, God damn, I made no mistakes here. Like it's just like it's almost impossible with bar, right? Even if you think, all right, like I have so much APM, it's
Yeah, I mean that's what it comes down to. Whoever makes the least amount of mistakes, right, wins the
yeah.
game. Yeah. Pretty cool, man. Well, yeah, LSR, thanks again for jumping on. Hopefully, we can do another one of these next week and try and find something interesting to bring.
Yeah, let's try to find something interesting. I mean, for the sea, there wasn't that much analysis. I think it was a good game. Yeah, would suggest to check out the sea and figure it out.
Right on, yeah. So, that being said, thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you made it this far, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.